am Stephen Vance, the festival director for the West Virginia Shakespeare Festival and the director of Julius that you are about to see. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't taken some time to walk around and see the vendors during intermission or at the show, we have a lane full of vendors down there, and they've got some really cool stuff, so make sure you check them out. We've got things going on the rest of the day. Directly after this, we have performances by Rye Jervis, Fourth Avenue Arts, the Huntington Symphony Orchestra, the 1937 Flood. So if you're sticking around for Bright Star, there's a ton of stuff to do, and there's going to be workshops by Connie Anthony and Jacob Smith, so stick around for that. We've got a lot coming up over the next few months. In September, first week of September, Alchemy's first children's theater show will be directed by our own Cindy Westbrook. It is called The Book Women. It is about the traveling pack horse librarians that were part of the WPA and how they went around and delivered books to people. And it's going to be a great show. We start actually rehearsals for that tomorrow because we are crazy. So no breaks for some of us. That's coming up. Then we have a comedy directed in October, directed by Mary Williams, called Making God Laugh. And after that, we will have the cozy finale, which we'll see what that looks like when we get it, and it'll be great. It's based on Hallmark movies, written by Simon Woods and Mike Murdoch, and we're very excited about that. And that will happen here as well. Everything that we do now basically gets to be here. Yeah, we have a place. Except in the fall, we're going to extend the West Virginia Shakespeare Festival, and in association with Marshall University, they are presenting The Book of Will, directed by Leah Turley, in the first part of the school year. And the second half of the school year, second half of the semester, I should say, The Winter's Tale. So that's going to be great. Plus, we are going to have some workshops, again, here with the West Virginia Shakespeare Festival. Some more great speakers. We have some great season sponsors, and everybody should have got a program, and if you didn't, grab one at intermission or whatever. But Dutch Miller, Palo Magistro, Regeneration Church, Hayflick, State Electric Supply, and Nelson Mullins is one of the main reasons we're able to do all of this, because there are season sponsors. Today, and this is presented largely in part by a generous grant from the West Virginia Humanities Council. So we are very excited about this. The show that you're about to see today is a special presentation. We have adapted this show. Julius Caesar, in its original form, is just over 2.5 hours long and has about 50 characters. We have cut it down to an hour and 25 minutes, and it has 9 performers. So some of the people will be playing multiple characters. For example, you're going to see Caroline Kinderly a lot, and she's playing 2 different wives and Octavia Caesar. So you'll be able to keep up. We take this to schools. One of the things that we offer when we take this to schools is we offer a talk back at the end of the show to see what people think about the show, what they've learned, any themes they want to discuss. So we've already done this twice, and then we're going to schools this fall. If you have a school or know a school that would like to have us come and be a part of what their curriculum is and what they do, we will be presenting this show very close to what you see today to schools all this fall. And we have, I think, 15 spots left. They're going pretty quickly. So I'll get corrected on that number later. One thing different that we're doing today is we will take a 10-minute intermission. Be sure to check out our concession. We have hot dogs. We have candy, chips. A lot of things are $2. A lot of things are $1. But as always, cowtails are $2. Thank you for being here. So we've got all that going on. It's going to be, and then if you haven't seen Bright Star and you don't have tickets, I'm sorry, because we have sold out all 3 shows this weekend. So, if you didn't get to see it, I'm sorry. If you did get to see it, great on you. If you're in it, great on you too. Thanks everybody for being here today. We'll have a brief intermission, and then we'll talk to you at the end of the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again.
I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry. Caesar, speak! Caesar has turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What sound is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March?
Set her before me. Let me see her face.
Come forth, fellow. Come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
Beware the Ides of March.
She is a dreamer. Let us leave her. Pass.
You go to see the order of the course?
Not I.
Pray you, do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack in me some of that quick spirit that is in Antony. I shall not hinder your progress, though, Cassius. I will leave you.
Brutus, to observe you now of late, have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. Bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Dear Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, it is simply because I've turned my countenance upon myself. Vexed am I of late of some passions, of some difference.
And Brutus, I have much mistook your passions. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye cannot see itself but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just. And 'tis much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear, and since you know you do not see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of.
Oh, what is this shouting? Oh, methinks the people would have Caesar to be their king.
Aye, do you fear it? I must not think you would have it so.
Not I. Yet I love him well. Wherefore do you keep me here so long, Cassius? For you know that the Godspeed, I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I know not what you and other men may think of this life, but for my single self, I was born free as Caesar, so were you.
Another general shout. I do believe that these are more applauses of honor heaped on Caesar.
Man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together, yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them, Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. When went there by an age, since the great flood, but it was famed with more than with one man? When could they, till now, that talked of Rome, say that her wide walls encompassed but one man? You and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once. Would have brooked the eternal devil keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would move me to, I have some aim, Brutus would rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these harsh conditions as these are like to come.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck with this much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are over and Caesar's returning.
As they return, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell thee what hath preceded worthy note today.
Antonius!
Caesar!
Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men in such a sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Ah, fear him not, Caesar. He's a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles and smiles in such a sort, as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this here is death, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
Casca, tell me what hath chanced today.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
Well, then I should not ask Casca what hath chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the third cry for?
Why, for that too.
Crown was offered him thrice.
Aye, Mary wust. And he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and at every putting by mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And still, as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they'd have done no less.
And after that, he went away?
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that, I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if I be alive and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you then.
Do so. Farewell, both.
Tomorrow, if you should speak to me, I shall come home to you, or if you shall come home to me, I shall wait for you there.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Thou art noble, Brutus, yet who so firm as cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard. He loves Brutus. If I were Brutus and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. We will shake him or worse days endure. How now? What news?
They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, that he shall wear his crown by sea and land, in every place, save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. That part of tyranny I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman by his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
Why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf that he sees the Romans of a sheep. He were no lion, else Romans hinds. But, grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman, and my answer must be made, but I am armed. Dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Decius. To such a man, this is no fleeting telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made.
Lucius, I say! I cannot tell by the progress of the stars how near today. What? Lucius! God, were it my fault to sleep so soundly. Lucius! Awake! When, Lucius, when? Lucius, I say!
Called you, my lord?
Is not tomorrow the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Well, look to a calendar and
Will,
bring
sir.
me word. It must be by his death. And yet for myself I have no personal cause to spurn him, but the general, he would be crowned. How that might affect him, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him. That. And in that, I say we would put a sting in him that he could do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. It is a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder. And for when the climber reaches the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks into the clouds, and scorns the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may. And therefore we must treat him like a serpent's egg, which when hatched must, like its kind, become mischievous and kill him in its shell.
Sir, March has wasted 14 days.
It is good to go to the gate. Someone knocks. Since Cassius did first whet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the action of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all of it is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are in council, and the state of man drives us forth like a little kingdom preparing for an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, there are more with him.
Just good. Let him enter. They are the faction. Oh, conspiracy to hide thy dangerous brow at night, when evils are most free.
Good morrow, Brutus. Think we're too bold upon your rest. Did we trouble you?
I have been up this hour. I have not slept. Know these men that come with thee?
Aye, every man of them, and every one with the wish you had but that opinion of yourself, that every noble Roman bears of you.
They are all welcome.
Brutus, might I entreat a word?
Why are you breathless? And why stare you so?
Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing infirm? But never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods incenses them to send destruction. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me. Who let not men say these are their reasons, they are natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange and disposed time.
Give me your hands, all over, each one.
Let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If these be motives weak, then break off betimes and each man home to his idle bed, and let high-sighted tyranny reign on until each man dies by lottery. But if they, which I am sure they do, have fire enough, then what need we to spurn but our own ideas to prick us to redress?
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Casca, well urged. I think it is not meet that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. Let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our cause will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius. We must be sacrificers, not butchers. We rise up against the spirit of Caesar. For in the spirit of man, there is no blood. Oh, then, that we could separate the spirit of Caesar and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. Good friends, let us kill him boldly, not wrathfully. We must be purgers, not murderers. And as for Mark Antony, think nothing of her. For she can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I do fear her, for in the engrafted love she bears towards Caesar.
Guys, listen, she can do no more than her love for Caesar. And 'tis best that she should. All that she may do is take thought and die for Caesar. And though she should, for she is known for sport and wildness and much company.
Let her not die. There is no fear in her. Let her live. She will laugh on this hereafter.
The clock is stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But we know not whether Caesar will come forth today or no. He is superstitious grown of late, and the persuasion of his augurs may hold him from the Capitol today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. So when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work. I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the Capitol.
Nay, we will all of us fetch him together.
8 o'clock is at the uttermost.
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
morning comes upon us, we'll not trouble thee, Brutus. Friends, disperse yourselves, but remember what you have said and show yourselves true Romans.
Gentle friends, look fresh and merrily. Do not let our looks give way to our purpose. We must treat it as our Roman actors do, with great spirit and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you all.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, wherefore rise you? It is not for you to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning.
Nor for you neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed, and yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you, so I did. I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
And so I do, gentle Portia. Go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty, and by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half. Why, you are heavy.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, Brutus, tell me. Is it accepted that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were, in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more than Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as the ruddy drops that fall upon my heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret? I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman Lord Brutus took to wife. Think you I am no stronger than my sex? Tell me your counsels, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy.
Gods, make me worthy of this noble wife. And I shall hereforth to your bosom share all that is in my heart. All of my engagements I shall construe to you, and all the noble constancy of my sad brow.
Caesar, beware of Brutus, and take heed of Cassius. Decius loves thee not. There is but one mind, all these men, and it is bent against Caesar.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, help ho! They murder Caesar. Who's within?
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall go forth. The things that threaten me ne'er look but on my back. And they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets. Graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors have fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the capital. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh, and diamond did grunt, and ghost did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comments seen. The heavens themselves place forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
The augurs would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast!
The gods do this in shame of cowardice! Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible. And Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and she shall say you are not well today. Let me upon my knee prevail in this.
Mark Antony! Mark Antony shall say I am not well. And for thy humor I will stay at home today. Here's Decius, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Tomorrow, worthy Caesar, I've come to fetch you to the Senate house.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators, and tell them I will not come today.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send alive? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afraid to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Mighty Caesar, give me some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia, here my wife stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which, like a fountain with 100 spouts, did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee have begged that I will stay at home today.
This was all a dream, a misinterpreted. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
In this way have you well expounded it.
I have, and when you have heard what I can say, and know it now, the Senate hath concluded this day to give a crown to mighty Caesar. And if you send word that you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, they were a mock, apt to be rendered for someone to shout, "Break up the Senate until another time when Caesar's wife has met with better dreams. And if you hide yourself away, shall they not whisper, 'Lo, Caesar is afraid'? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to our proceeding, bid me tell you this, and reason to my love is lied.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. Oh, and look where Cassius has come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Cassius. What? Brutus, are you stirred so early, too? Good morrow, Casca. What is it, the clock?
Just struck an 8, Caesar.
Well, I thank you for your pains and courtesy. Oh, see, Antony, who revels long and nights, is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
Sir too, most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Decius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you.
Oh, Caesar, I will. So near shall I be, your best friend shall wish I could further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
Those likes are not all the same, Caesar. All that Brutus's head longs to see.
Oh, Caesar, if thou beest not a mortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. Oh, but the mighty gods, they defend thee. Oh, if thou read this, great Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone. Great Caesar, read this letter.
Odysseus doth desire you to overread it, your best leisure.
No.
That's his humble suit.
Caesar, this one is a suit near Caesar's heart. Please, read it, Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last, sir.
Delay not.
Whoa.
Read it.
Who is the fellow, Matt?
Sir, a good place.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and the Senate must redress?
Most high, most worthy, most puissant Caesar, Decius lays before thy seat an humble heart.
I must prevent thee. These couchings and lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think Caesar bears such rebel blood. Thy brother by decree was banished. Thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him. I spurn thee like a cur out of my way.
Is there no voice greater than my own to sound more sweetly in Caesar's ear for the repeal of my banished brother?
I kiss your hand, Caesar, but not in flattery, but for immediate repeal of Publius Cimber.
What? Brutus.
Caesar, pardon. Pardon, Caesar, as low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move. But I am constant as the northern star, whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. Skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. There's but one, and all doth hold his place. So too in the world, there's but one that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me a little show it even in this, that I was constant, Cimber should be banished, and constant do I remain to keep him so.
Speak, hands for me!
No. Et tu, Brute. Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead! Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets!
Come to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement!
People and senators, be not affrighted. Stand stiff. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And you too, Cassius.
Where is Mark Antony?
Oh, fled to her house amazed.
Fates, that we will die, we know, but it's the time that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life, cuts off 20 years of fearing death.
Then death is a benefit, and are we the friends of Caesar that have abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop. Stoop, Romans. Stoop and bathe your hands in his blood up to the elbows. And bathe our swords, besmear them in his blood, and then we're waving our red weapons high above our heads, even into the marketplace, shouting, peace, freedom, and liberty!
Stoop, then, and wash. How many times and how many ages hence of this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? So oft as that shall be, so oft shall the none of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
To what shall we forth?
Every man away Brutus will lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instruments of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, now, whilst your purple pens do reach and smoke, fulfill your pleasure.
Do not beg your death of us, Mark Antony. For though our hands must seem bloody and cruel, our hearts you see not, for they are pitiful. And pity is the cause that what has done this deed on Caesar. To you, Mark Antony, our swords have leaden points, for we embrace you with all love and kindness and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any other's, and be disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient until we have quieted the multitude beside themselves with fear, and then we shall tell you why I, who did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? And my valiant Casca, yours. The last not last in love, yours, good Cinna. Gentlemen all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me. Either a coward or a flatterer.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you have with us? We be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Friends am I with you all, and love you all. Upon this hope, you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Okay, Antony, our reasons are so good that were you the child of Caesar, you would be satisfied.
That's all I seek. And moreover, suitor, that I may produce his body to the marketplace. And in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall hearken.
Brutus, a word? Know not what you do. Do not consent she speak in his funeral. Know you not how much the people may be moved by that which she will utter.
By your pardon, Cassius, I will to the pulpit first and tell the people why we have done this to our Caesar. And anything that Mark Antony speaks, I shall say, is by our merit and by our permission. It will be more advantage to us than failure.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, come and take Caesar's body. And in your funeral speech, you will not blame us, but instead speak all the good you can devise of Caesar.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Take up the body then, and follow us.
Pardon me, a bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe over thy wounds. Now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury, fierce civil strife shall cumber all parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile to behold their infants quartered with the hands of war, all pity choked with custom of fell deeds. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, shall in these confines, and with a monarch's voice, cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for her to come to Rome.
She did receive his letters, and bid me tell you by word of mouth that... Oh, Caesar.
Thy heart is big, get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for my eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in line, began to water. Is thy master coming?
She lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell her what hath chanced. Here lies a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius. Yet, hie hence and tell her so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this course to the marketplace. There will I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Friends, countrymen, lovers, hear me for my cause and be silent. Respect me for mine honor and give respect to mine honor. If there be in this assembly any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, my love for Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend does ask me why then Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Would you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, or that Caesar were dead and to live all free men? That Caesar loved me. I weep for him. that he was fortunate. I rejoice in it. That he was valiant. I honor him. And that he was ambitious. I slew him. There are tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who here is so base that he would be a bondman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who here is so rude that they would not be a Roman? If any, speak. For him have I offended. Who here is so vile that he would not love his country? If any, speak. For him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None.
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 Then none have I offended. Brutus did no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. Here comes Mark Antony, who, though she had no hand in Caesar's death, receives the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth. As which of you shall not? Good countrymen, let me leave this place, and you stay here and attend on Mark Antony's speech, where she will speak to Caesar's glories. The speech that she, by our permission, is allowed to make.
Countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you, Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak at Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When the poor hath cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yeah, Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yeah, Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he is an honorable man. Now, I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you now to mourn for him? Judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin with Caesar. I must pause till it come back to me. Masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, what I should do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I would wrong such honorable men. Here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. But let the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. Read it! Have patience, gentle friends, I must not read it. It will inflame you. It will make you mad. Nah, 'tis good you know not you are his heirs. Read it! If you have tears to shed, prepare to shed them now. You all know this mantle? I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. You see what a rent the envious Casca made? Through this, the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all.
Burn their houses!
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. Hey, you forgot the will I told you of. Here's the will, and under the seal of Caesar, he gives to every Roman citizen, to every several man, he gives 75 drachmas. Oh, moreover, he hath left you his walks, his private arbors, and his new planted orchards. Yeah! He hath left them you and your heirs forever. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another? Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. Come, brands, ho! Dire brands! To Brutus's house! To Cassius's house! Burn This many then shall die? Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent.
Strike him down, Antony.
Upon condition Publius shall not live. Who is your sister's son, Mark Antony?
He shall not live. With a spot, I damn him. Get you to Caesar's house. Fetch the will hither. Then we shall determine how to cut off some charge in legacies.
What shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
This is a slight, unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit, the threefold world divided, he should stand, one of the three to share it?
So you thought him. And took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription?
Octavius, I have seen more days than you. And though we lay these honors on this man, to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way. And having brought our treasure where we will, then take we down his load and turn him off, like to the empty ass, to shake his ears and graze in commons.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius. Do not talk of him, but as a property. Now listen, Octavius. Great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bait about by many enemies. Some would smile, have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, gods. Wrong I mine enemies, how then do I wrong a brother?
Brutus, the sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them...
Cassius, peace? I know you well. In front of our armies, you should see nothing but love from us.
Senna, bid our commanders leave their charges off a little from this ground.
Casca, let no man enter our tents until our conference is done.
That you have done me wrong doth appear in this. You have noted and censored Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardinians, wherein my letters praying on his side, because I knew the man, were slighted off.
You did wrong yourself to write in such a case.
Just in such times as these, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Cassius, you yourself have been known to have an itching palm, to sell your offices for gold and mart to undeservers.
Aye, an itching palm. You know you are Brutus that speak this, else by the gods this speech will your last.
Remember March? The Ides of March. Remember? Did not Julius bleed, but for justice's sake? What man did touch him that did not stab, but for justice? Which of us struck down the foremost man of all this world? But now to contaminate our fingers with base bribes, I would rather be a dog and bay at the moon than be such a rogue.
Brutus, pay not me. You forget yourself, I'll not endure it. I am a soldier, older than yourself in practice, abler to make condition.
I say you are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself.
Away from me, slight man.
Oh, ye gods! Ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this. Aye, more. Fret until your proud heart break. Digest the venom of your spleen until it splits you. From this day forth, I shall use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Does it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier? Show it me then. Make your vaunting true. For my part, I would be glad to see noble men.
I said an elder soldier, Brutus. Not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
You dared not have tempted him so.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I will do what I shall be sorry for.
You have done what you should be sorry for. There is no terror in your threats, Cassius. I am so armed in honor that they pass me by like the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath bribed my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
Not until you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not love your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
The flatterers would, though they be as huge as high Olympus.
Oh, come! Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone upon Cassius, for Cassius is a weary of the world, hated by one he loves. Here is my dagger, and here my naked breast. Within a heart, strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou hated him most, thou loved him better than ever thou loved Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Oh, be angry when you will, that has some scope.
If Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him.
When I said that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
Oh, Cassius, I am full of many griefs. No man bears sorrow more than I. Portia is dead.
How escaped I killing when I vexed you so? Insupportable and touching loss. Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence, and upon hearing the news of young Octavius and Mark Antony growing so strong, which with her death those tidings came, she grew distraught, and her attendants absent swallowed fire.
died so.
Even so,
Immortal gods.
speak no more of her. Cinna! Casca! Come in. I have received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony are coming upon us with a mighty strength.
Myself have letters of the selfsame tenor,
With what addition?
that by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
Have you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No. Cinna?
Oh, that methinks is strange.
Why? Have you aught heard of your and yours?
No, my lord.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then like a Roman, bear the truth I tell, for she is dead, and by strange manner.
Well, farewell, Portia. And we must die once, we know. And that she has died once allows me to endure this now.
Even so, great men, great losses should endure.
Well, to the work of us alive. What say you to marching on Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason?
This it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. Thus shall he weary his men, waste his means, doing himself offense, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must give force to better. Our legions are brim full. Our cause is ripe. Our enemy grows every day. When we, at the top, will soon diminish. There is a tide in the terms of men, and we must take that tide or else lose our ventures.
And with your will, go on, a little along ourselves, and meet thee at Philippi.
There is no more to be said.
No more. Noble brother, this was an ill beginning of the night. Let not such awfulness come between us. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Good night.
Where is my gown?
Herein, my lord.
Speak you drowsily? Oh, you come by it so, you are o'erthrown. Oh. Oh. Look here, Lucius. Here is the book that I sought for, so it was in the pocket of my gown.
I was sure you did not give it me.
You must forgive me, young one. I am forgetful of late. Get thee to thy rest. I swear to you, if I do live, I will be good to thee. How ill this taper burns. But who goes there? Oh, this must be some creation of mine eyes of this monstrosity. Well, he comes toward me. you some thing? Some angel? Some devil? Speak to me what thou art!
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
Tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
And I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
And I shall see thee at Philippi then. Oh, now thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would have some more talk with thee. Oh. Lucius.
My lord?
Lucius, go speak to my brother Cassius and tell him to get the armies ready and we will follow him down.
I will, sir.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here before we do demand of them.
Tut, I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they do it. That they could be content to visit other places and think to come down with fearful bravery, and by this thought to fasten in our minds that they have courage, but 'tis not so. Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand I keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this
I
exigent?
do not cross you, but I will do so. Shall we give sign for battle?
No! Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better as you do.
Good words are better than bad, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live! Hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but as for your threats, we thread before you sting.
Villains! You did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar.
Come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again, and never till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged? Or till another Caesar hath added slaughter to the sword of traitors?
Octavius, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus's sword.
Oh. Were you the greatest of your name, young one, you could not hope to die more honorable.
A peevish schoolgirl, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius, still?
Come away, Antony. Defiance traitors, hurl we in your teeth if you dare. Fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Why now blow wind, swell bellow, and swim bark. Storm is up. All is on the hazard.
Now, most noble Brutus, let's reason with the worst that may befall.
If we do lose this battle, is this the very last time we shall speak together? What are you then determined to do? You are Intent to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, noble Roman. Brutus shall never be led through the streets of Rome. He has too great a mind. But today will end that which the Ides of March began. And whether we shall see each other again, I do not know. If this is our final farewell, let it be. Forever and forever, farewell, Cassius. If we see each other again, why then we shall smile. And if not, then this is a parting well made.
Forever and forever, farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed, but if not, 'tis true this parting was well made.
Oh, that we could know the end of this day ere it comes. Suffice to say, it will end, and then the end is known. Farewell, good prince. Lucius, deliver these letters to the generals. I spy a cold demeanor in Octavius's camp. Bring forth all the generals down now. Let them all come down.
Look, Casca, look, the villains fly.
Oh, Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are all enclosed.
Fly further off, my lords. Fly. Rock Anthony is in your tents. You need to fly further off, lords.
This hill is far enough. Casca, are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Ask if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse, and hide thy spurs in him till he brought thee to yonder hill and back again, that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
I will be here again, even with the thought.
Cinna, mount thou this hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard the field, tell me what thou knowest. Stay I breathe first, time has come round. Where I did begin, there shall I end. My life has run its compass. Zero, what news?
Oh, my lord.
What news?
Casca is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now, Casca, now, some light! Oh, lights too! He is taken, and they shout for joy.
Come down. Hold no more. Coward that I am to see my best friend ta'en before my face! Sirrah, come hither. With this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search thou this bosom. Stand not to answer. Take thou the hilt, where my face is covered as 'tis now. Guide thou the blade. Caesar! Hard revenge! Even with the sword that murdered thee!
Oh, Cassius, far from this country, Cinna shall run, where never a Roman I shall meet.
It is but change, Casca, for Octavius is overthrown by the noble Brutus's power, as Cassius's legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Is not that he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living.
Is
Oh,
not
my
that-
heart! No, this was he, Lucius, but Cassius is no more. sink tonight. So in his red blood, Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone.
Mistrust of good success hath done this deed.
What, Cinna? Where art thou, Cinna?
Seek him, Casca, whilst I go meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears, might I say thrusting it. For piercing steel and darts envenomed shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as the tidings of this sight.
Why didst thou send me forth, brave Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends? Did not they put on my brows this wreath of victory and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. And see how I regarded Caius Cassius. Come, Cassius' sword. And find Casca's heart.
Where? Lucius, where does the bodies lie?
Low yonder, and Casca mourning it.
Casca's face lies upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art noble yet. Oh, thy spirit has turned our own swords into our own proper entrails. Oh, Lucius, I owe this man more tears than you shall see me shed. I will find time, Cassius. I will find time. But now, until this night, shall lead into another fight, Lucius. Listen a word. I have been visited by the spirit of Caesar these last few nights. Once at Sardis and once last night here in Philippi Fields. I know that my time has come.
Not so, my lord.
It is. You see the world, Lucius, how it stands. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. It is better for us to jump in ourselves than to tarry until they push us. And so, Lucius, hold on to my dagger's hilt while I do run on it.
No, that is no office for a friend, my lord. Fly, there's no tarrying here.
You see, the Brutus has more glory in this losing day than Octavius or Antony shall have by this vile display. Thank you, Lucius. Brutus's mouth has nearly finished his life's story. Night hangs on my eyes, and my bones would rest that have brought me to this hour. And so, farewell, Lucius. behold not you with half so good a will.
What man is that? Lucius, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, Senna, for the conquerors can make but a fire in him, for he only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
How died thy master, Lucius?
I held the sword, and he did run on it. This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He alone, in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent tonight his bones shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So, let's call the field to rest, and let's away to part the glories of this happy day.
Thanks everybody for being here. Take a seat. We're going to do a talk back for a couple minutes. It is, for those interested, the next two things that are coming up is a workshop across the hallway with Connie Anthony. And you want to do that. We're going to start it at like 4:15. In here, we've got performances by Rye and 4th Avenue Art. And that'll happen once we get reset in here. So we got a lot of things coming on. Also, Since My Breezy is doing a drawing for a free giveaway. So if you haven't checked out all the merch tables, or you already have, go back down there and spend some money. And we're very good at placing stuff. So, good. We like to start this talk back by saying, who was right? That's the answer we usually get. Anybody want to take a stab at it? Not that joke. That wasn't right. Anybody? Was Brutus right and justified in what he was doing? Someone who's played Brutus before?
I think, in his own mind, he was at first. It's kind of hard to tell, I think, if was Caesar actually as ambitious as everybody thought he was, or was he truly a man that people like Mark Antony talks about in the speech in the second half. So it really kind of depends, right? Would he have been a tyrant? Because he's dead.
And what's former Cassius think about Caesar being ambitious?
I don't know, man. I think Cassius has his own motive, and he tries to rub it off on Brutus. I think that they have a different agenda, I think.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clear in the script that we've got how many people in this, how many characters in this play are ambitious? Raise your hand if you're ambitious. And I think they all have their own way that, and I think what we get into is a clash of ambitions, right? And I think we get ego gets in the way, and there's a lot of things. I mean, could this have been solved with a conversation over dinner? I think that's a valid question. I don't really know. What else do you have? I'll let you guys take it from here. Oh, great. That was great. Good job, everybody.
What brought the conspirators down in the end? What brought them down? What was the nail in their coffin?
I think there's a lot of arrogance.
That's true, yeah.
We had a
That one.
conversation.
Communication.
There you go.
Senna. Everybody just took my word for it.
Senna misinterprets what's going on in the battle and starts the dominoes falling. We think we're losing.
One of the, we took Taming of the Shrew to audiences and high schools last year, and obviously that's a different conversation when you're talking about misogyny and modern interpretations of Shakespeare's literature. In this one, it occurred to us about 3/4 of the way through the process, we need to talk about choosing suicide as an answer, because that.
Yeah.
How many suicides did we have? 3.
Yeah.
3 at the end.
3 that we saw. We've had a lot of them.
Yeah, we got it.
Portia.
Yeah.
Portia.
And just so you guys know, we're not proponents of suicide. But that is something just because you see somebody do something on stage doesn't mean that it's okay to do. And that's something we take to high schools. That's something we take very, very seriously. That we need to see bad examples sometimes to understand us as human beings. I think that's really important.
And one of the lessons of this show is that, these people all kill each other based on perception. Mm-hmm. They see things from a certain perspective, they're locked into it, and they take that way out. And any other perspective, any other way of looking at it, and they would have won the day. They were winning the battle. Everything was great.
And I think Akia said it once at one of the talks we did, that it really is important to note that if somebody had just taken a pause, so when you feel like things are just so desperate, take a pause. It's not always what it seems. And, sometimes just time and conversation can turn things around.
And talk to anybody but Senna. Anybody.
Anybody but Senna.
Also, we have to remember what it was like back then, and how much honor,
Yeah.
how important that was. And the same idea that for years in this country, people do war.
Yeah.
That it was better to say, come on, dead on your shield than come home alive.
To save face. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was what drove a lot of the
Right.
suicides. I do not want to be taken back, I think, as a captive.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we talked about in that scene.
Exactly. Right.
Than to be taken.
And Lucius says as much.
I'm like, you got scared. You were a coward.
You get to be paraded through the streets of Rome as a captive. Yeah.
One thing that is...
Laura had a comment.
Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think Nora, especially, and Mark Antony did a great job talking about honor in your monologue differently each time, how you evolved that word differently each time you said it throughout the entire monologue in the second act. I really appreciated that.
And to the point of manipulating, right? Like that was the point, right? Was to manipulate the crowd with something that they held so high.
Yeah, and I think you guys each said it differently at different times, and I really love that tactic. It's great.
One thing to keep in mind, and I'll build on that because that's great. One thing to keep in mind is this is not classified as one of Shakespeare's histories. This is classified as one of his tragedies. This entire thing is fictional. It is based in a lot of things that did happen, but Shakespeare and people of that day were very educated on what was going on during those times. They would have read Caesar's account of himself. That was one of the best Latin primers you could get. Cicero who was the other big author? Cicero, right?
Talking about
Plutarch, sorry.
He wrote about, that would have been probably Shakespeare's primary source.
Yeah. So this is a fictional account of what happened. So Shakespeare is very much making a comment on honor. He's making a comment on ambition. He's making a comment about choices.
So it's important to think about the historical Caesar in the time of Rome, like Todd pointed out, how honor would have been seen then, but how was honor seen in Elizabethan England when Shakespeare was writing this and for the audience for whom he was writing, and how is it seen today? That may not be a thing that you would think like, oh, I would die for the honor of my country, but there are things that we would all probably make, or at least have those thoughts about.
How many people have you described as, that's an honorable person? That's not a thing that we do. It's a different time. It's a different. Does anybody else have any questions?
I have a comment. I've seen most of you act before, and I have to say that you guys really brought this thing to life for me, and that I felt like it was a master class in acting. So bravo to all of you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
How many people were familiar with this play before today, or had seen it or read it in high school? That was a thing. So there was a lot of people in here that were new to it. This is a question I think is very, very good for us to know. Did everything make sense? Okay. That's because we're getting ready to take it to people that have zero experience with Shakespeare. One of our performances this year will be in a high school gymnasium. Thank you for that. And if you
Kids
do,
that may not have seen theater at all,
ever,
let
yeah.
alone Shakespeare.
So if you guys know of a school that needs to have Shakespeare on the Road come see you, please let us know. If you have questions about this performance, please come talk to us. We're going to be floating around the rest of the day. Some of us. Don't bother the people that are in Bright Star later. But they've got things to do. But we really appreciate you guys being here. Please go visit the vendors. Stick around for the workshops. They're all free. Stick around for the performances.
Eat some hot dogs.
Eat some hot dogs. If you have tickets for Bright Star or you're in Bright Star, we'll see you in a little while. But thank you guys for being here, and have a great day.